Well, by now you may have trimmed your tree or festooned lights upon your windows. And as you get ready for the Christmas celebration, Max Lucado wants you to remember one thing. Sometimes the greatest gifts can come in unexpected ways.
Best-selling author Max Lucado is a preacher with a storyteller's gift. Over the past 30 years, he has sold millions of books that offer inspiration and encouragement to his readers. In his latest book, Because of Bethlehem, Max shares how the birth of Jesus shows us God's relentless love for us, and why the message of the Christmas miracle should be celebrated all year long.
Well, Max Lucado is here with us now, and we welcome you back to the 700 Club.
Thank
it's
you.
Always wonderful.
It's great to be here, and it's always such a joy to see you.
Well, you too, Max. And this book, Because of Bethlehem, is such a wonderful, warm, personal way for someone to sit down and connect with the Jesus message of the season. You say you love Christmas because of the questions. What do you mean by that?
Well, inevitably, sometimes it takes a while, but inevitably somebody will ask the question, now what is the big deal about the baby in the manger? Well, after the questions, what should I get Mama for, and what are we going to, eat for Christmas dinner? But the big question, what is the big deal about the baby in the manger? What is it? How is the world different because of Bethlehem? That's the Christmas question.
When you were a child, there was an event, you talk about it, where all the gifts had been opened and there was still one unopened package left in the corner. Share that.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's my favorite Christmas memory. I wish everybody in the world could have known my dad. He was such a delight.
It sounds like it.
He's an oil field mechanic, he was kind of a rough and tumble guy. But boy, he had a tender heart. And when I was about 6 years of age, there was this large gift that appeared in the corner of the living room.
Would garner attention.
Absolutely. It was taller than I am. It was huge. We all assumed that Dad had bought himself a present because it didn't have a name on it who was either giving it or receiving it. So Christmas Eve, when we used to open our presents on Christmas Eve, it was still unopened after everybody had opened everything else. And finally, my mom said, "Jack, what's that box there?" And he said, "It's for you." And the reason this is such a fun memory, you remember the old 8mm cameras?
Yes,
I mean,
sadly I do.
Oh, so we would watch this scene over and over and over when we'd replay those 8mm films. And Dad was filming it, and Mom opened that box and started pulling the tissue out. Tissue, tissue, tissue. It was just a box full of tissue. Finally, she found a ring box down in the very bottom. And my dad, the rough and tumble mechanic, had bought his wife a ring for Christmas. And of course, as a 6-year-old, I couldn't understand the significance of a ring.
Why is that a big deal, right?
But I did remember, special things come in unusual packages. And that's the message of Christmas.
Yeah.
Christ came in a common package, in a common setting, in a most uncommon arrival, but the most amazing gift, salvation for the world. In Jesus Christ.
And in keeping with that, I think sometimes difficult things happen at Christmas. You had that happen with one of your daughters where she experienced a heartbreak at the holiday season.
It's been about 3 years now that my precious daughter, Jenna, our oldest daughter, experienced a miscarriage during the Christmas season. I had actually just preached a Saturday evening Advent sermon at church, got home expecting to put my feet up for a little bit. My wife came to the door in tears and said, "Jenna's at the hospital." So we immediately raced to the hospital and spent that evening in the emergency room. Yeah. And the Lord has blessed us since with a grandbaby, healthy. Rosie's just a delight. But that, when our dear daughter Jenna lost that baby, it was rough. It was rough. And it was like December 2nd or 21st. It was right close to Christmas. Yeah. And so the emergency room was decked out, in Christmas tree and garland and playing Christmas music. And there's no way to make, some of your listeners today are going through a hard December. I'm very confident. It's our first December without someone we love, or since the divorce, or since the job layoffs. But this can be the December that God talks to you. He speaks to you. He came in the midst of difficulty too.
Yes.
Joseph and Mary did not want to be traveling while she was 9 months pregnant.
Would have liked a nice place to lay down their heads.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
And so the best things in life can come through the most difficult things.
Yeah.
We just have to press into God and let them.
Yeah, and there was a happy ending to that story. There was a coda to it, if you will, with little Rosie.
Little Rosie.
So sometimes
she's
you
the
have to
star of the
remember
show.
that.
Yeah. And this Christmas will be certainly at least so far, a wonderfully delightful one because of the presence of that little grandbaby, 18 months old now.
You use this term, and I love this. You say, with Christmas, every day should be Christmas and every heart a manger. Boy, what a good, that's just such a visual, I think. A welcome host to the only one who really matters.
We'd hope so, wouldn't we? It's hard to have the sense of Christmas every day, but we can.
Yes.
We can. I think it's important to give God our first thoughts when we wake up. Right when we're waking up, our head's even still on the pillow. Say, Lord, thank you for this day. Just make this day a Christmas and make my heart your manger. Place yourself in me. Let people, when they come to me, they find Jesus. They find incarnation.
But it has to be intentional, doesn't it? Because life, that's the very thing that life tries to squeeze out of us and take away. And yet if we do what you're talking about, grab hold of it and hang on, we get the blessing.
It's a battle. And the devil wants to take all of our thoughts, Terry. He wants to take every single thought, and he wants to bring anxiety and fear. I think our whole planet seems anxious right now.
Yes.
But the Lord Jesus can come, and he can take those thoughts, and he can place thoughts of peace and joy and hope, but it has to be intentional. We have to invite him.
Is that why you put an Advent devotional at the back of the book, so that we could have a nugget to focus on each day as we prepare?
Somebody could take this book or a book like this and spend a few moments every day between now and Christmas and prepare your heart. Prepare your heart. Ask the Lord to do a work in you this Christmas. You know, if we're not careful, we'll look up and it'll be December 26th.
That is so easy to have happen, and I know friends at home who are watching have experienced that as well, where you think it got away from me this year.
Yeah.
Don't let that happen to you this year. I just want to say, Max, you have offered us again something to really sink our teeth into to help us grab hold of that anticipation. We were talking about that with New Song as they sang a little bit earlier. The book is called Because of Bethlehem. It's a wonderful message for this Christmas season. I want you to have this in your hand, in your heart, in your home. It's available in stores nationwide wherever books are sold. It's another Max Lucado wonder. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.